They don't understand. Casting judgment. I just stand on loyalty. I'm keeping it 100. And that will never change. You can hate it or you love it.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another episode of the Hate It or Love It podcast. Y'all already know, man. As you guys can see, I'm back at the old setup, back at my brother's apartment. But yeah, there was no like special reason for me coming back to film this. I really should have came here for the 1 year anniversary, since this is the room where it all started. This was like the original interview chair and stuff like that. But yeah, there is no special reason. It's just, you guys know, I film wherever I can, and I was just like, you know what, I'm already visiting my brother today. I might as well bring the equipment so that I can film here while, you know, I'm here. But this episode, I got a lot of topics for y'all. Don't know how long this episode is going to be, but yeah, I got a lot of topics because for some reason everything wanted to happen this week. Like, so much was going on this week. So before we get into any of that, I do want to announce that eventually, sometime this week, or at least before this episode comes out on Tuesday, I plan, actually no, not before, but some days afterward, I release this episode on Tuesday, I am planning on getting the brand new Canon vlogging camera. I think it's called the Canon PowerShot V10. I think that's what it's called, the Canon PowerShot V10. It's a vlogging camera, and a lot of people's been talking like a lot of shit about it, but for me, it's perfect for me as far as like vlogging, because like I do like the vlog, I do like to record and stuff like that, but carrying around this camera and like how big it is, and then sometimes people be looking at you strange for holding the camera around, like, you know, if I could just have a small, simple vlogging camera that I can just put in my pocket and pull out whenever I want to film and whatever, like, that was the perfect thing for me. So while everybody else is talking shit about this camera, I'm like, look, I'll buy it. I'll use it. Just leave it for me then. So I do plan on buying that soon. And with that being said, that means I'm definitely bringing y'all some more vlogs. Definitely gonna like try to expand my content more, because while I do like doing this podcast, I do like to do vlogs, show y'all more of my life and stuff like that. So look forward to that. And all right, that's really the only announcement that I had to make today, so let's get straight to it. Now, the first topic that I have is seemingly during a case this week, somebody basically admitted, I forget what the dude's name is. I know I have the article somewhere on my Instagram, but while I'm pulling up, I'll tell you. Basically, during a case this week, this guy testified that the government is in hold of non-human bodies. Here it is. A former intelligence official says that the government is in possession of UFOs and non-human bodies. And whew, how do I feel about that? Basically, one thing that I will say is I've always believed that aliens were real. And not to sound like on no conspiracy theory stuff or like try to sound crazy or nothing like that, but I've always believed that aliens were real, partly just because, like, you know, there's millions of, and this is confirmed stuff, like we noticed, there's millions of galaxies, there's so many different, like, you know, there's so much different universes and galaxies and stuff like that, and planets out there, that it would be very hard to believe that we're the only ones that are actually here. Like, I don't know. If you really don't believe in aliens, then you gotta believe in something, because ain't no way that we're the only living species out here in this known universe that we have. Like, you know, I always believed in that, but I also, you know, on a spiritual level, like, you know, I am religious, I am a Christian, and I do believe that we cannot be God's only creatures. Like, I do believe there's other, you know, humans or beings out there that are human-like and stuff like that, because truth be told, space is big as hell. we never explored we haven't explored everything that there is to explore. Like, there is so much out there. So to think that, there is no aliens, I find it kind of absurd. Like, if you don't believe in aliens, and you don't have to believe in like the traditional type of aliens. Like, personally, me, I believe that there's intelligence life out there, but I don't believe in like traditional type aliens that you always see in movies and TV shows. Like, are they super high tech? Are they like, are they going to try to enslave us all when they come here and stuff like that? Like, no, I don't think that's the case. I do think that if there is any aliens or any intelligent life form out there, I believe that they're somewhat like us. Like, I don't think they're hell bent on trying to take over a whole planet, but I could be wrong. Like, I say all this stuff with me knowing that I could be wrong, but I do find it hard to believe that there isn't any other intelligent life out there. And also to think that they're just automatically, like, soon as they crash land, they're going to automatically want to take over this planet. Because I don't know, if you're an intelligent life, and say that aliens are more intelligent than us, if they are more intelligent than us and they land on our planet, I don't know in what right mind would you have to want to take over Earth, because Earth is kind of shit. Like, we are kind of horrible. So I don't know why anybody would want to take this over, but if you want to take it over, like, I don't know. But yeah, this whole aliens becoming, basically somewhat getting confirmed, it's crazy to me, because a lot of people was bringing it up, but to be honest, like, we always had so much proof of aliens being real and stuff like that. So for anybody to like not believe it at this point is kind of crazy. But I have also seen comments and stuff like that where they said like this guy basically, like, he's not really 100% saying that they are aliens. He just said non-human bodies, which could mean anything. And I mean, that could always be the case too. Like, maybe it is like, not aliens, or at least what we traditionally think as aliens. So that could be the thing. But in my opinion, whether that is what he was going towards when he said that or not, I still believe that aliens are real, just because we can't be the only creatures out there. We can't be the only species out here. Like, if animals, if humans, if all of us is possible, then there got to be other possible things out there, especially with all these galaxies out here and stuff like that, and all these planets. Like, there's got to be more out there. So, yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you guys believe in aliens? Do you guys, like, what do you think he meant when he said, like, non-human bodies and UFOs and stuff like that? Like, this is definitely a type of topic that I am interested in, because it's like, you don't really talk about this type of stuff every day. Like, I kind of feel somewhat like I'm going to come off as like a conspiracy theorist as I'm talking about this, but like, this is the type of stuff that I like to talk to people about and pick their minds about. So yeah, if you guys are interested in this topic, if you guys have any opinions, leave it down in the comments. If you are listening on like streaming services, hit me up. You already know. But all right. So the next topic that I have, and this is more leaning to more like normal type stuff. And recently, a girl by the name of, I think her name is Veronica. Let me look this up. Oh, okay. But this girl by the name of Olivia Veronica Core, or at least that's what her last name looked like. It's pronounced Core. She was recently at a Drake concert. And actually, first, let me put it like this. A video was going viral of a girl who threw their bra at Drake, but we didn't know who the girl was. All we saw was that a bra was thrown at Drake. He looked at the size and he said, "Look for this girl immediately." And ever since that video went viral, people was like going crazy trying to figure out who this girl was that threw the bra. And eventually she came out and made a video revealing who she was. And after that, people was like going in on her, basically saying that she was ugly, that she wasn't really worth the time or nothing like that. And I'm gonna keep it all the way real. Like, you know, I ain't the best looking person in the world, but in that video, she wasn't really looking that good. But, she wasn't ugly, but she wasn't really looking like, all that. But later, when people found her Instagram and stuff like that, like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that video did not do her justice. She is a very like pretty girl. She is very beautiful, and she actually went on to get a Playboy contract, or she is working with Playboy now after that whole Drake thing. And I'm just like, yo, like that's honestly crazy that even happened. Because, like, I don't know. It's one of those cases where I can see, like, some of my favorite YouTubers saying that they're playing, that, like, women play in recruit mode or something like that. I think it's Birdman that be making videos like that like these women playing on recruit mode. But, like, yeah. Yeah, this girl, I mean, not to mention, like, she does look good, so, like, that does somewhat help, but this is just another case of Drake helping another person get a career, and that is, like, crazy to me that played out like that. Like, can that shit play out for me like that? I mean, like I said, I know I'm not the best looking guy in the world, but, hey, shit, can someone find me attractive enough to get me a deal and some shit like that? I don't know, but yeah, man, that was a crazy story. If you guys have anything to say about that one, let me know. Cause I wish I had one of my boys on, or I wish I had like one of my girlfriends on, and not like girlfriends. I mean like my friends that happen to be girls. I wish I had them on to talk about this because like I don't know, man. That shit was. I just find it crazy how stuff like that happens, and now this girl got a deal. So yeah, definitely let me know down below what y'all think about that. Sorry if it seems like I'm running through these topics, but like I have a lot that I had down this week. So the next one is Beyond the Spider-Verse actually got delayed indefinitely. Now, this somewhat has to do with, actually, it's not even a somewhat, it does have to do with the writers and actors strike that is currently going on right now. And Sony recently updated their release schedule for their films. And people noticed that Beyond the Spider-Verse does not have a release date. And basically, they came out to say, like, the movie isn't canceled, but they just don't know which date that they want to put it towards. And partly me, like when I thought about it, I was like, all right, like maybe they're trying to wait out until this strike is over. But the thing is, the strike seems like it's going to be going on for a while now, and if it goes on any longer, we're really going to start to see the effect of it starting next year. And the fact that Beyond the Spider-Verse is now delayed indefinitely, like, that definitely is one of the effects that we are feeling. Because one thing I noticed, one thing that I did read on is that apparently, like, none of the actors did voice acting yet for the movie. So, maybe that's part of the reason why they're also delaying it, because, like, they didn't even do none of their lines, and now this actors strike is going on. So, yeah, this is crazy. Basically, it's sad, but also in a way, like, it's good, but it was also kind of expected. Like, I did see a lot of rumors saying that Beyond the Spider-Verse was going to be delayed for a while now. My thing is, how long is it going to be delayed? Because y'all basically set up this part one to where we would get a part two like a year later. And now we don't even know when part two is coming out. So, like, I don't know. But another reason I partly thought, like, this movie was going to get delayed, or another reason why I feel like it's getting delayed because of this strike, is just because, like, of course there isn't going to be any promotion for the film if your actors are striking, which, it's almost like I don't know if that could be a reason, because my thing is, as big as Across the Spider-Verse was, like, I can see them still surviving, releasing this movie without that much promotion. But then at the same time, while you still may have the opportunity to do it and you still may make money, like, it still helps to see the cast promoting the movie. So either way, this is just, crazy to me that this movie basically, like, every other movie got a different date, every other movie got pushed back. We know when those are coming back, but Spider-Man, like Beyond the Spider-Verse, it's crazy to the fact that it's actually being delayed to where we don't even know. Like, that's the crazy thing. So yeah. I hope this whole strike situation gets worked out, and if you guys want to know my thoughts on that, I have like 2 other episodes where I talk about the strike and stuff like that, so go check those out. But like, I really hope they do figure this out, because like, Beyond the Spider-Verse was basically like one of my most anticipated movies of this next year, but because of this, it's like, well, damn, like, I don't even know, like, I don't even really know what to say about it. I'm just like, man, I hope they get this all figured out, because, like, yeah, I really want to see the ending of this movie, especially Across the Spider-Verse. Like, as good as that was, I need some type of answer. I need some type of ending, because, like, I don't know, man. That was just crazy. The next topic that I have, and this would also be, like, another interesting one to talk about if I had a guest on, but 6ix9ine and Kodak Black recently made a song together. I did not listen to the song. I'm not listening to 6ix9ine or nothing like that. But recently, Kodak decided to hop on a song with 6ix9ine. They made a video and all that, and it got people in hip hop like going crazy about it. So how do I feel about it? Ultimately, because this is the first time I'm really ever like really thinking about it. Ultimately, I would say, well, obviously this isn't really that big of a deal to me, but as far as like, Kodak Black and who he is and what he stands on, I am actually very surprised that he's making this song with 6ix9ine, because as we know about Kodak, like, he's really about that life. He really, don't usually condone stuff like that, but to hop on a song with someone that we all know is a rat is kind of crazy. Like, I don't know, maybe I do need to hear the song, because I have heard that, like, apparently he does somewhat send a shot at 6ix9ine on the song, and I don't know, like, maybe I just need to hear it for myself. But it is kind of crazy to think that Kodak actually did that. Like, I would have never, like, as real as Kodak is, I would have never expected him to actually like hop on a song with 6ix9ine. Like, that's kind of crazy. But in 6ix9ine's case, he probably doing this so that he could build his name back up, because I mean, 6ix9ine, he fell off, bruh. But doing moves like this gets people to talk about him. So yeah, this is more beneficial for 6ix9ine than it is for Kodak. Like I said, I really don't understand why he did it, but neither am I actually like talking shit about him, because it's crazy how people pick and choose this whole like, who are we going to accept being a rat or not thing. Because recently Gunna, he put out his album, and he put it out after the whole Young Thug album came out. And because Young Thug's album didn't live up to people's expectations, and because, Gunna had a few hits on his album and he sold more than a couple of these other rappers that dissed him and stuff like that, people is now fine with the idea of not Young Thug, but with Gunna being a snitch. And I don't really like the picking and choosing, actually, because, like, I don't know. I don't really like the picking and choosing, because if you feel that way about one person, I don't care how popular, how liked someone is. If you feel that way about one person, then keep it the same energy with the other person. Like, and look at me going into a Gunna and 6ix9ine rant and all that. Now, let me say, like, I ain't into the streets and stuff like that. So, but I'm just saying, like, going off of what people be saying, it's like, keep the same energy for one person compared to the other. And, like, we all up in arms about, Kodak doing a song with 6ix9ine. But what if Kodak did a song with Gunna? Or, Gunna put out this last album, I think, with no features. Like, what happens if he puts out his next album and that thing actually has a feature from a major artist. Like, what is people going to say about that? Like, that's the one thing I am interested in when it comes to this topic, because it's like people really do pick and choose like what type, like who to pull the politics cards on, because I know Gunna is well liked. I know people love Gunna, but like we got to keep it real. Like, y'all, the way y'all treated 6ix9ine has got to be the same way that y'all treat Gunna, and that's personally me. That's just how I feel. Like, that's just personally me. And this has nothing to do with the fact that I don't like Gunna's music. Because I know some people that personally know me, they're going to try to be like, oh, Tevin hates Gunna, or Tevin doesn't really like, he's saying this because he doesn't really like his music or nothing like that. But this has nothing to do with the music. It really has more to do with the fact that, I just don't like how in hip hop people pick and choose, like, who they want to play politics with. Because like I said, 6ix9ine and Gunna both snitch on the gangs they were in during a RICO case, and one is celebrated and saying that he didn't need the people that dissed him, while the other person is always scrutinized and stuff like that. And this isn't me sticking up for 6ix9ine, but this is just me keeping it real. Like, a rat is a rat, and I'm just only going off the definitions y'all give me. So and also, even while I'm on the topic of like people picking and choosing when it comes to politics, one thing is this whole YNW Melly case, which I try not to talk about it just because a lot of people was already talking about it, but also I didn't want to talk about it because I wanted to wait until the trial was over. But at least this trial is over. Apparently the prosecution is going to try to do another trial in the next 90 days. So we'll have to see how that one goes. But as far as this one, like, when I see how people talk about YNW Melly, it almost makes me think of like I said, how people pick and choose with the politics in hip hop. Because the same people that say all the time, like, free TK, they the same people that said, like, YNW Melly definitely deserves the death penalty. And my thing is, how can you say free and praise one killer, but you don't want to free and praise the other one? Because I'm not gonna lie, the prosecution, they really fucked up with the whole like YNW Melly case. Like they have proof, but they're not connecting the dots very well, and they're giving the defense a lot of reasonable doubt. Like, they're making it seem like Melly could have did it, but the way that they are putting together their evidence, it's almost like, yeah, Melly probably did do it, but y'all ain't got good enough evidence to make it stick. So most likely it is. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a big YNW Melly fan. Like, I love his music, and I was disappointed that he got locked up and that the output of music was getting slower and slower. But if I'm gonna be honest, yeah, I mean, there is a chance that he probably did do it. But the thing is, like I said, I don't like to pick and choose with the politics and stuff like that, because TK was robbing houses, murdered innocent people during some of these robberies and stuff like that. And in YNW Melly's case, while it is some real snake ass shit to like kill your best friends, at the same time, look at the type of music we listen to. Like, these rappers, especially the real ones, like, they've done stuff like this. They've done grimy stuff. So it's like, if y'all gonna say give the death penalty to one, then don't be sitting here saying free the other. Because while I like TK and YNW Melly's music, at the same time, I have to admit, while one is, we know that he is a murderer, YNW Melly is an alleged murderer. And my thing is, if we're going to talk about, and if it came out that YNW Melly for sure did do it, then okay. But my thing is, if you're going to treat one in a certain way, you got to treat the other in a certain way. And that's basically what it is. Basically, it all comes full circle. The whole Gunna and 6ix9ine, the YNW Melly, and TK. If you're going to talk about one person in one way, then you got to talk about the other person in the same breath. Because I don't like how people, throughout the whole trial, YNW Melly did it. Melly did it. Melvin did it. can we stop with this split personality bullshit? Like, he did that because, you know, that was helping his artist. Like, that was helping him as an artist with the whole image of having two personalities. Like, can we stop with that? But yeah, free TK, but kill YNW Melly. It's like at the end of the day, they both basically are murderers. They both did grimy shit, and you know, not that I'm not asking for Melly to get the death penalty. I'm not asking for him to be free. To be perfectly honest, I just want music. That's all it is. Like, if he could stay in jail for what he did but still release music, like, hey, that's all I need. But like, as far as him as a person, it's like, come on, man. Like, y'all need to keep it real with yourselves. Like, you can't be out here saying free one killer while telling the other one that he has to go. Like, that just shows personal bias. But that's just me. I don't try to look at things in a biased point of view, but that's just me keeping it real. And if you guys have anything to say about the whole, whether it's 6ix9ine and Gunna or YNW Melly and TK, like, definitely let me know, because this is something that I like to get people's perspective on, because yeah, it's just real funny how in hip hop, like, people really do pick and choose like what they feel is okay and what's not okay. So yeah. In other news, Twitter is no longer Twitter no more. It's now called X. And I think this is a horrible move. Like, X doesn't really have the same... It doesn't really have the same... I don't even know what to call it. Feeling... I don't even know what to call it, but it doesn't have the same ring. Yeah, the same ring to it as Twitter does. Like, when you hear Twitter, like, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with Twitter. As it really just comes down to like how people be on Twitter. Like, people be ready to bitch and complain and all that too much on Twitter, and they lash out about the most stupid things. But you know, Twitter is still a special type of app. Like, you know, it sounds cool, everybody's on it. Like, imagine going up to somebody and like, imagine going up to a girl, like, you can ask like, hey, what's your Twitter or something like that, but now you're going up to her and you're being like, what's your X? Like, I don't know, X doesn't hit the same as like Twitter. And it's not even just a name thing, but like, you know, you're getting rid of tweets and you're saying you're gonna call it posts. Like, I don't know. Twitter felt very unique, but now the way that Elon Musk is running it, and then the fact that he's changing it and like making it a generic type of looking app, like, even the logo doesn't even look special no more. Like, when you see that blue bird, everybody knows what Twitter is. Even if you're not on Twitter, old heads even know what Twitter is. Like, everybody knows that blue bird. That blue bird is distinct. You look at an X, the fuck, am I looking at a porno website? Like, I mean, oh man, I gotta cut that out, but I might have to edit that out. But like, you look at an X and you thinking like, am I looking at like one of those sexual websites? Like, why an X? Like, what's so special about X? And even the logo looks so generic, like a black background with a white X. I don't know. Twitter was always a lot more like recognizable. It was always a lot more, you know, special and stuff like that. But the way Elon Musk is running it, it's really not, you know, it's not really looking too good for the company. And a lot of people saying that maybe he's really genuinely trying to destroy the app. And like, if that is his goal, like if that's low key his goal to destroy the app, he is doing a really good job at it, because my phone hasn't updated Twitter yet. It hasn't updated it to X. Wait, hold on. I just want to make sure. Yeah, nah. It still ain't updated yet. You guys can probably see it. Yeah, it still ain't even updated yet. And I don't know, man. Like, when it updates, I might not even use it. Fuck it. I'm still calling it Twitter. But, like, I might not even use Twitter like that no more once it updates, because I'm just like, why? Like, what was the point of even doing that? So, who knows? In the same conversation of Twitter, There's also Threads, which I do want to talk about now because I never got to talk about it when it first came out, because I think that was around the time I was on vacation, and like there was other stories that I wanted to cover around that time. But Threads is basically like Facebook or Instagram Meta. Meta is like Threads is basically Meta's answer to like Twitter. It's basically like the same thing, but actually, no. Right now, it really is just basically like a basic version of Twitter. I feel like Threads needs hashtags. It needs a trending tab. It needs to add that stuff for it to be a little bit more relevant. But Threads is basically like a new Twitter. And I will say that while Threads is lacking in a lot of the features that Twitter is known for and that I use on Twitter, I will say that I feel like as Threads go along, I do feel like it's going to be better than Twitter, or X as it's called now. But I do feel like it's going to be better because, like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with Twitter because a lot of people be like, they like to lash out, they like to do and say a bunch of dumb shit on there, and they like to do their think pieces, you know, acting like they're really saying something with their think pieces on Twitter. But on Threads, so far, it's really been chilling, and it's really like, I feel like it's more of a community on Threads. Now, it needs a lot more people. Like I said, it needs a few updates, but I feel like Threads overall is like a better community. A lot of people actually have like real conversations. At least the people that I follow, they have real conversations on there. And that's something that I'm big into. I mean, hence this podcast. But like, yeah, I feel like Twitter is more like they just go at each other's heads. And sometimes you do get a lot of funny stuff on Twitter. But at the same time, it's also like, all right, sometimes y'all be bugging out. And it makes me not even want to use the app like that. But with Threads, it is very chill. You know, I feel like the more people use it and the more updates that have, I feel like, you know, Meta might actually have something here. Like, Meta might actually have the X killer. Not the Twitter killer. It might have the X killer. So, you know. I'm also on Threads. If you guys follow me on Instagram, or if you guys follow me anywhere, all my social medias are basically Tevin Jameer. Or it's either Tevin Jameer, like straight like that, or either Tevin.Jameer. So you guys can add me on Threads. I promote on there. Sometimes I post on there. So like, yeah. If you have Threads, you know, hit me up. And that was about it for all the news topics that I had this episode. Dang, this episode is going to kind of be short. Maybe I didn't have as much topics as I thought, man, but I don't know. The last topic that I really had, and this isn't like no news topic, but this is just something that I personally feel. But am I the only person that's tired of summer now? Like, I want fall time to come back around. I'm sick and tired of summer. Like, this week, I don't know where most of my other viewers come from. Like, I don't know where my viewers come from, but I live in Jersey. This past week was one of the freaking hottest weeks in Jersey ever. Like, it was hot as hell. Like, 1 second and you're already burning up outside. I already hate warm weather. Or I don't hate warm weather, but I hate like hot, like crazy hot weather. I already hate it, but when we're experiencing like some of the hottest days ever, it's like, nah, man, I'm good. So, I don't know, man. Am I the only one that's just tired of like this hot weather? Like, I'm really counting down the days until September comes back around and like it starts to get a little cool out. I am also somewhat counting the days because my birthday is September 1st, so I am looking forward to that. But like, I don't know, man. This hot weather just ain't it for me. And besides, I like the fall time. You know, you got your holidays like Halloween, Thanksgiving and stuff like that. You know, you got your football games and whatever. Like, I look forward to fall time. Fall time really is actually pretty cool. Me and my friends go out to Creamy Acres, that little like haunted hayride thing. I definitely want to do that this year. If any of my boys is watching this, we doing it this year. Yeah, like fall time really is like a very cool time to me, especially movies. Like, you know, beginning of fall time, you got your end of the summer type blockbuster type movies. Middle of September and October, you start to get like the more Halloween movies, haunted movies. I love horror movies, so like that's a really good time for me. And then around like late October, early November, going into December, that's when you start getting your Christmas movies and your Oscar bait movies. And while sometimes I do hate Oscar bait movies, like they do tend to make a lot of good movies during that time. So like yeah, you know, the Oscar baits, the Halloween, or not the not the Halloween, but like the holiday movies and stuff like that. Like yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just ready for summer to end. Bring on fall. Bring on the cooler weather. Actually, you don't even need it to be cold or cool. Just bring on some warmer weather. Give me like some 70s type days, the high 70s, low 80s type days, and I'm good. I'm straight. But these 90s and above, nah, it ain't it. But dang, all right. So this episode was a lot shorter than I expected. Oh, damn. I should have said this at the beginning of the episode. But one thing that I do want to tell y'all about is recently I linked up with one of my cousins. He also has a podcast. Now, I didn't show up on his podcast, but me and him, we talking, we in talks to make things happen, making some big moves this year as I work with him. But he's coming out with a podcast soon called The Opposing. Damn phone and the notifications. But he's coming out with a podcast called The Opposing Perspectives Podcast. It's supposed to come out real soon. And if you guys have watched the podcast or listened, if you're listening on streaming services, if you guys have, you know, stuck with me this far into the episode, then one thing I'd like for y'all to do is to go subscribe to his YouTube channel. I think either it's on his channel or he made a channel for it. When I get the link, I'll definitely put that out there in my community tab. But like, yeah, go check out his podcast, check out his Instagram, The Opposing Perspectives. I think it is opposing_perspectives on Instagram, so go check that out. And yeah, he's going to be dropping that real soon. And you guys might see me on there because me and him, we have been talking. We've been discussing like making some major moves with both of our podcasts and stuff like that. And not even just the podcast. Like he's really trying to help me on a business front with all of this. So yeah, so go check that out. I already somewhat promoted it on my Instagram, which if you guys follow me on Instagram and you're watching or listening to the podcast, thank you for checking his page out because I see those taps. I got my analytics on. Like I see when y'all tap on the page and whatever. So yeah. Like I said, check that out. And as for me, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, look out for the vlogs. They should be starting real soon because I plan on getting the camera real soon. So look forward to the vlogs. Of course, you guys can look forward to this podcast. I'm still working on the A24 video. I could also start working on the Studio Ghibli video because I have been watching a lot of Studio Ghibli movies. And of course, the short film that I'm working on. Getting closer to missing that summer release, so maybe it will get like some fall or winter release, but either way, definitely look forward to all my future projects. Like I said, check out my cousin's project, and that was about it. If you guys have anything to say about any of the topics that I talked about in this episode, you know, put them down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think, and follow me on all my socials. Like I said, at Tevin, and shoot, with all that being said, Tevin signing out. See you on the next one.